I'm making a video on one of the more difficult GCSE topics, and this topic specifically is not vectors, and it's not circle theorems or any of that. It's triple Venn diagrams. And why I say this topic is hard? Because this topic requires you to understand a lot of pieces of information and to be able to apply that in a Venn diagram. For example, this question is 6 marks with a part A and a part B. And to be able to answer the part B, you need to get part A right. So that's why this is an important video to watch. Because in this video, I'll be teaching you how to answer questions like this, and after this video, you'll be able to get 6 out of 6 marks in the exam. A shop manager wants to advise special offers on a social media platform. The manager asks 100 customers which of type A, type B, or type C they use. Of the customers, 4 use all 3 types. 16 do not use any of type A, type B, or C. 8 use both of type A and B, but not type C. 14 use both of type B and C. 62 in total use type A. All 20 who use type C also use at least one of type A and B. Complete the Venn diagram for this information. And what we firstly need to do is we need to underline the information first that we're going to use, and that's the fact that there's 100 customers using type A, type B, and type C. So you can just write that in the top and make sure you understand that. But what we firstly need to know is that 4 of them use all of the 3 types. So we can plug that straight away in the middle, and I assume most of you guys will understand this. And the second piece of information, we can plug it in straight away, as 16 do not use any of type A, type B, or type C. So we still need to keep that inside the box, because the box represents the Venn diagram, and you need to show this for the examiner. And the third piece of information that we can put is that 8 use type A and type B, but not type C. If it states specifically that it doesn't use type C, then we can put that in type A and B, and that is very important because it shows you that its type C is not included. And you need to know this because the fourth piece of information states that 14 use both type B and type C. So it doesn't state that it uses type A, and what we need to assume is that we need to assume that it uses type A. And why we assume this is because it hasn't stated that it hasn't used type A. So we represent this as X. And if we represent this as X, what we can do is that we know that the next piece of information is that all of 20 use type C, but at least one use type A and type B. So what we can do is we can add all the pieces of information that we got from type A, type B, and type C, and then we can form an equation to solve for type A. And when we do this, we'll be able to find what type C is because we know that all of the pieces of information to make up type A and type B is also included for type C. And what we can do now is that we can solve for the other pieces of information in the Venn diagram by, as we know that 62 use type A, so we can add all of the information in type A, including the ones that intersect type B and type C, and we can subtract that from the original value of type A, which is 62. And when we get this, we get 44, which we can write immediately in the Venn diagram. This takes up most of the marks, and if you're in this stage, you'll probably get most of the marks. But if you want to get all of the marks for this part of the question, what you have to do is you have to understand the fact that we have 100 people inside the Venn diagram. You can subtract all of the numbers in the Venn diagram from 100 to get the value of only being B. And the value of the customer only using B is 12 because we subtract all of the values from 100. And this is very important because the next question requires us to find the probability of the customer that uses type B. So the second half of the question states that one of the customers is chosen at random. Given this customer uses type A, find the probability that this customer also uses type B. So what we're supposed to do is we're supposed to look at type A and we're supposed to look at the total of type A, and the total of type A, that includes B. And the total of type A that includes B is this part over here. And this part adds up to 62. And in this question specifically, we're looking at the probability that this customer uses type B. So the probability that this customer uses type B is 12. And as a fraction, this would be 12 out of 62, which we don't have to simplify, but if you want to simplify, it's 6 out of 31. And that's it.